Please stand by. In all construction types found in our society, it is but the imagination of the architect and the owner that come together to realize the desired outcome of design for a given budget. Dreams or needs? Maybe it's a complete rebuild of a home bought to flip, or that dream home addition a family always wanted. Or maybe it's the increasing number of families moving loved ones back home to care for them. Whatever the case, the uniqueness of home design can present a life safety hazard to both the owner and fire rescue personnel. A 360-degree size up in these structures must be performed, if at all possible. Single family and multi-unit building designs. A review for you to consider. Why are we here? We're here to be familiar with the types of single-family residential structures most common to Montgomery County, Maryland. Once dispatched, we really need a game plan for emergencies occurring in these structures. We want to identify areas within a residential structure that have the potential for smoke and fire spread, thus allowing for deployment of needed resources. An open dialogue of expectations before actions is key to successful outcomes. Objectives. Describe the different types of residential structures most common to Montgomery County, Maryland. Quickly identify the type of occupancy as part of the IOSR. Identify areas of concern unique to each structure which has the most potential for smoke and fire extension. Review established tactics for fire suppression occurring within these structures in accordance with the Montgomery County Fire Rescue Service Incident Response Policy. The single family detached. It stands only one dwelling unit and is completely separated by open space on all sides from other structures, save its own garage or shed. Though there are many models, the most common designs are discussed in the following graphics. The small single-family detached. This is generally a small, modest home of simple construction with a layout of all spaces on the main level. They're frequently called shoeboxes, as the building type reminds one of that type of small box. Many have been remodeled, with additions that easily double their size. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 718 is on the scene side alpha of 123 Main Street. It's a one-story, type 3, single-family dwelling with nothing evident from sides alpha and bravo. I'll be out doing my circle check and I'll give you more info in a bit. What are my concerns? These are small homes with tiny floor layouts. It's very easy to fill the house with too many firefighters and hinder operations and egress. Small homes equal limited storage, and these can quickly become hoarding houses and crammed with furniture, making hose advancement difficult. Tactics. Where's the fire now? Where is the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? Depending on the construction type, fire spread in this particular type of home is generally compartmentalized, and standard engine company practices will suffice. A standard home of this size will have between 800 to 1100 square feet of floor space, with bedrooms in the area of 10 by 10 feet. Limit interior crews to 1 or 2 crews as needed. The rancher. The ranch-style house is noted for its long, close-to-the-ground profile and is a one-story detached home, constructed usually with a basement. Attached garages may alter the design, creating an L shape, but the underlying rancher remains the same. When set in a hillside lot, the rancher has an appearance of a two-story colonial home, yet the model remains the same. Home designs may vary with additional structures, such as decks, patios, and enclosures being very popular and only limited by budget and permitting. Initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 721 is on the scene, side Alpha, dispatched address. It's a 1 in the front, 2 in the rear ranch, single-family dwelling, and I have nothing showing. I'll be out investigating and will give you a sir. What are my concerns? Ranch-style homes are traditionally built on large lots with long setbacks. This limits aerial reach and requires 75 to 100 feet of hose or more just to reach the front door. Long linear roof line is usually a single void, allowing rapid fire spread throughout the attic space. Newer homes of lightweight construction have rapid exterior fire spread to the attic space. Tactics. Where's the fire now? Where's the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? The tactics are similar to the small single-family dwelling. We use slightly larger fire flows based on the size of the structure. Depending on the age of the structure, they may have no exterior basement access, a partial basement access, maybe a walkout basement, or no basement at all. Maybe there's just a crawl space. Basement fires need to be addressed through the lowest entrance if at all possible. The Colonial. The classic colonial style detached house floor plan has the kitchen and the family room on the first floor, and the bedrooms are usually on the second floor. As families create in-law suites, all manner of sleeping arrangements can be found in this home design. Special attention should be given to alterations including additions, dormers, bump outs, and chimneys. Home designs may vary with additional structures, such as decks, patios, and enclosures being very popular and only limited by budget and permitting. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 740 is on the scene, on the Alpha side of 146 West High Street. It's a three-story colonial with nothing showing from sides Alpha and Delta. All units use caution. There is a swimming pool on side Charlie. I'll be doing my 360 and I'll provide an update. What are my concerns? Traditional colonials have a large central chimney, or two large chimneys on opposite sides of the home. These are collapse hazards under fire conditions. The construction era lends itself to balloon frame construction methods and a large open foyer immediately inside the front door. Real dormers built into the upper floor result in void spaces, while false dormers built for aesthetics result in an increased dead load on the roof structure. Colonials are often built on large plots of land, resulting in the same aerial access issues and hose line requirements of a rancher. Tactics. Where is the fire now? Where is the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? The large open foyer can result in rapid fire spread to the upper floor. Longer lines may be necessary to navigate the larger floor plan and a large front yard setback. Balloon frame construction methods necessitate checking for vertical extension to multiple floors, the attic, and the basement. For fire in the walls, it might be quicker to pull the exterior siding than to pull heavy plaster and lath on multiple floors. The split foyer. These detached homes are a typical two-story with front entry between both floors. That means the giveaway for this design type is that inside the front door is a set of steps going up and another set going down. Home designs may vary, with additional structures such as decks, patios, and enclosures being very popular and only limited by budget and permitting. Do we count a foyer? The foyer level itself has no name, and it exists only as an entry to the stairs leading up and down into the home. What's in a name? These homes may have 3 to 4 different levels and could possibly have sub-basements and garages. The naming of these levels follows common practices according to the IRP. Here's your initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 734 is on the scene, side Alpha, confirming the dispatched address. It's a 2-story split foyer, single-family dwelling. I have nothing evident from Alpha, Bravo, and Delta. I'll be out investigating. What are my concerns? The floor configuration can lead to confusion in names and locations. The lower level is often mixed use and can include a den, a living space, bedroom, garage, a laundry area, and/or something unfinished. With these various uses come various fire loads. The terrain and construction on the split foyer can make the windows of upper stories awkward for ladders. Tactics. Where is the fire now? Where is the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? Remember to include floor names with the SIR or the IOSR. It's a 2-story split foyer single-family dwelling. I'm going to call the floors the basement and the first floor, or the first and second floors. Place initial lines to protect the upstairs searches. Remember to always coordinate ventilation of lower levels to ensure flow paths are limited. The split level. The front door is on the main level, which has the kitchen and family room. The bedrooms will be on the top level, but depending on the owner, the lower level may have some converted bedrooms also. Home designs may vary with additional structures such as decks, patios, and enclosures being very popular and only limited by budget and permitting. What's the split? The entrance opens to Division 1. Once inside, a few steps up and down divide the upper and lower levels. Initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 702 is on the scene, side Alpha of a split level Type 5 single-family dwelling. I have nothing evident. I'll be out investigating. What are my concerns? The floor configuration can lead to confusion in names and location of the split level home. The lower level is often mixed use and can include a den, a living space, a bedroom, a laundry area, and/or unfinished space. With these various uses come various fire loads. Remember, terrain and construction features can make the windows of the upper stories awkward for ladders. Tactics. Where is the fire now? Where is the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? Remember to include floor names with your SIR or IOSR. For example, this is a split level Type 5 single family dwelling. I'm going to call the floors the basement and first floor, or first and second floors. Place initial lines to protect the upstairs searches. And always remember, coordinate ventilation of lower levels to ensure flow paths are limited. The Cape Cod. The Cape Cod style house is a low, broad, detached single-story frame building with a moderately steep pitched gabled roof, a large central chimney, and very little ornamentation. The first floor is much like a rancher, with the kitchen, a living room, and bedroom usually found. If present, the second floor is typically divided into additional bedrooms. These homes are frequently desired as remodels into more modern designs or raised completely, giving way to the larger designs favored today and explained in some of the coming graphics. Initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 706 on the scene confirming 189 West Main Street. It's a 1.5-story Type 3 Cape Cod single family with nothing showing from sides Alpha and Delta. I'll be out checking and we'll get back to you with a SIR. What are my concerns? The knee walls and gable voids are usually connected if present in this cape, and they can result in fire wrapping around from the front to the back of the house. There's a significant amount of overhaul needed for older capes, with tongue and groove boards and plaster and lath wall coverings, and they may have those ornate metal or tin ceiling coverings. Fires in the voids result in high heat and smoky fires, making locating the seat very difficult. The steep pitch and materials on the roof make roof work challenging and requires heavy amount of truck work. Tactics. Where's the fire now? Where's the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? Ensure a line is in place before opening any walls or voids. Multiple lines may be necessary to handle fire running through the front and rear knee walls and overhead in the gable void. Use power tools to help ease the workload on opening tongue and groove floors and plaster and lath walls. Positive pressure ventilation may be needed to clear smoke and cool crews operating upstairs, but ensure a line and a crew remains in place to handle any hidden fire. The McMansion, or large single-family dwelling. The 3,000 to 5,000 square foot home built on very small lots. This detached design is frequently placed in standing neighborhoods as a complete teardown of a previously built home. A giveaway is the odd look or size of the home in comparison to the rest of the homes in the neighborhood. This home is usually larger and taller with designs and structures occupying most of the available lot space. Vast open stairs and second-story ceilings are common in this design type. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 735 on the scene, side Alpha, dispatched address. Large 2-story lightweight Type 5 single family. I have nothing evident from Alpha and Delta. I'll be out investigating. What are my concerns? This home type usually has a large open floor plan and high cathedral ceilings. They're constructed of lightweight materials, possibly utilizing the open truss floor system, and all have wide open roof systems above our heads. Some of the exterior finishes can be flammable, and many times the HVAC plants are placed in the roof space for aesthetics, increasing the dead loads above firefighters' heads. As a matter of fact, aesthetics in general outrank function and safety in the design phase of these type of homes. Tactics. Where's the fire now? Where's the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? Depending on the floor space, longer lines and larger diameter lines might be necessary for increased fire flow and further reach. Thermal imaging cameras are critical on structures with high ceilings to evaluate what is going on above the crews operating. Many McMansions have multiple stairwells, and some have a catwalk through a grand foyer, easily causing disorientation or is a fall risk. A line must be placed on an exterior fire to control fire and rapid extension. The mansion. Greater than 5,000 square foot homes on estate type properties. Cost and imagination are the only limits in this home design. This leads to many owners creating completely unique homes, unlike any other in their community. These can be vast homes on estate-type lots, which create significant issues with water supply, requiring much coordination and possible tanker use. This home type can have multiple dormers as seen on side alpha of this Bethesda home. Roofs are designed to be grand and can be clad in any manner of material, including multiple layers of asphalt, slate, terracotta, and metal. This design will undoubtedly have tall ceilings, large open areas, multiple kitchens, and multiple bedrooms. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 710's on the scene, side alpha, the dispatched address. This is a very large two-story single family, approximately 150 by 75. Units use caution. There's a covered pool on side Charlie. Nothing evident from sides Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie. I'll be out investigating. What are my concerns? Large open floor plans and unique layouts, high cathedral ceilings, lightweight construction techniques, possible open truss floors, and a wide open roof system above it all. There are multiple exterior finishes very common in this design. Many times, the HVAC is placed in the roof space for aesthetics, increasing the dead load above firefighters' heads. Aesthetics in general outrank function and safety in the design phase of these very large homes. Tactics. Where is the fire now? Where is the fire going? And can I get ahead of the fire? Depending on floor space, longer lines and larger diameter lines might be necessary for increased fire flow and further reach. Water supply is critical, so plan ahead. The thermal imaging camera is needed on structures with high ceilings to evaluate what is going on above the crews operating below. A line must be placed on the exterior fire to control fire and rapid extension. Special services should consider the use of a tagline for search orientation. Basement entries. Paramedic engine 799 with the side Charlie. 3 stories in the rear, basement door access at the corner of Bravo and Charlie. Nothing evident. What are my concerns? Consider management of smoke and fire conditions from the Charlie side. A quick switch of plans must be communicated. Consider obstacles like additions, bump outs, and overhead decks, etc. when using these entrances. Ask yourself, will this fail and block my egress? Basement access can be different than an entry. Paramedic engine 799 with the side Charlie, 2 stories in the rear. I have Bilco door access in the middle of side Charlie with nothing evident. What are my concerns? Consider management of smoke or fire conditions from the Charlie side if you're able. A quick switch of plans must be communicated. Except for the Bilco, these are access only and not meant for fire rescue entry. Bilco doors must be positively secured before entry. Remember, these lock. Basement egress. Paramedic engine 799 with the side Charlie, 2 stories in the rear, below grade window egress in the middle of side Charlie with nothing evident. What are my concerns? Consider management of smoke and fire conditions from the Charlie side. A quick switch of plans must be communicated. They're only intended for emergency egress and not two-way entry and egress. The below grade egress usually indicates a sleeping area. The single family attached. This is an attached structure with its own address intended for one family. These dwelling units share party walls and have small lots in the front and back of the home. Commonly, these are referred to as the duplex, the townhouse, the hybrid townhouse, and the row house. The duplex. A duplex is a single home that is divided into two equal, separate living spaces. Most common is a house with two doors, side by side, that enter into different living spaces in one building. There is frequently a small yard in the front and back of this type of attached house. This attached home will have a firewall or a party wall of at least 2 inches of sheetrock separating each unit. Think of a 2-unit townhouse, a left and a right side, with separate utilities. The floor plan is mirrored on each side. What does this mean? This means that the interior is exactly opposite the other, as if looking in a mirror. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 705 on the scene of side alpha of the dispatched address. It's a 2-story brick type 3 duplex. I have nothing evident from side alpha. I'll be out investigating. What are my concerns? Through redesigns and conversions, doorways may have been cut in the firewall and not properly fire blocked. The age of the build, methods of construction during that era create building code issues that can often be ignored or overlooked during renovations. Depending on the area, consider multiple unconventional apartments. There's a hint. Are there interior keyed doors? Tactics. Where's the fire now? Where's the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? Getting a line on the fire and managing the exposure is critical. The duplex has a common roof and firewall system, and crews must confirm the firewall is intact and there is no presence of smoke or fire in the exposure. The thermal imaging camera is a great tool to evaluate what is going on above the crews operating and in the exposure building. Coordinate ventilation to ensure flow paths are limited. The townhouse. The townhouse is defined as a single family attached with at least 2 floors that share a wall with another house. Unlike a duplex or a fourplex, however, each townhouse is individually owned and of 2 basic types: end of the row or middle of the row. The end of the row townhouse. Exposures on the end of the row are just a few feet away. Fire spread is a real concern and even hastened by the slightest wind. Windows on the side Bravo or Delta pose problems for control of fire spread. Many have the grand peaks and dormers which hide large void spaces. Additions, decorative railings, bump outs, decks, etc. must be considered for potential failure, like this side Charlie image. The middle of the row townhouse. The brick and stone is but a skin. Facades with tieback points are prone to failure in fire conditions. Similar to are the grand peaks and dormers, which hide large void spaces. Windows on side Alpha and Charlie pose problems for control of fire spread, especially in windy conditions. Additions, decorative railings, bump outs, and decks, etc. should be considered for potential failure. Take a look at this side Charlie image. This one has 2 decks. The open stairs. Running bottom to top, these open staircases are a quick way for smoke and fire to travel throughout the townhouse. Consider this a chimney, enhancing the flow path. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 723 is on the scene of side Alpha, confirming the dispatched address. It's a 3-story lightweight construction, middle of the row. I have nothing evident from side Alpha. I'll be out investigating. What are my concerns? Some of these units are really huge, with large open floors, high ceilings, and open staircases that run top to bottom. Depending on the size and position in the row, longer lines and larger diameter lines might be necessary for increased fire flow and further reach in penetration. Remember, these are lightweight construction and have possible open truss floors with minimal required firewalls. This means we must control the exposures. Some have flammable exterior finishes. Exterior finishes and facades do become unstable in fire conditions. Ask yourself, am I too close? Remember, facades equal collapse. Tactics. Where is the fire now? Where is the fire going? Can I get ahead of the fire? Getting a line on the fire and managing the exposure is critical. The townhouse, like the duplex, has a common roof and firewall system, and crews must confirm the firewall is intact and that there is no presence of smoke or fire in the exposures. The thermal imaging camera is a great tool to evaluate what is going on above the crews operating and in the exposure buildings. Coordinate ventilation to ensure the flow paths are limited. The hybrid townhouse. It's really a piece of cake, no matter how you slice it. The hybrid townhouse, back to back. These appear as normal townhouses from the alpha side. It is only on the 360 do we note a difference. A mirrored set of residences on what would be side Charlie. Like these two images. Side alpha, they appear as normal townhouses, 4 to the row. The delta side shows a surprise, a completely mirrored set on the back. Hybrid townhouses look and feel more like condo living. Many have HOAs that take care of common concerns like snow removal, grass cutting, and play areas. Providing lots of daylight, these hybrid townhouses have plenty of storage space, and some have private garage parking. The 6 or 8 unit hybrid example. Back to back and over and under. This particular building has 8 units with entry doors on all sides. The top image. Where do you think the entry door is for the 3rd floor? On the bottom image, this side shows 2 doors that go to 2nd floor units. The 8 unit hybrid example. Here's the entry to the 1st floor units. And here's the entry to the 2nd and 3rd floor units. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic Engine 734 is on the scene of side Alpha, confirming 123 McKinley Court. It's a 2-story lightweight back-to-back and over-under townhouse. I have nothing evident from side Alpha. I'm doing my 360, and I'll be back with a sir. What are my concerns? Some of these units are broken up in weird ways, having entrances that don't match with expected levels. Depending on the size and position in the row, longer lines and larger diameter lines might be necessary for increased fire flow and further reach or penetration. Lightweight construction, possible open truss floors, and minimal required firewalls means we must control the exposures. Flammable exterior finishes and proximity to other units require early management of these exterior exposures. Tactics. Where's the fire now? Where's the fire going? And can I get ahead of the fire? Getting a line on the fire and managing the exposure is critical. The hybrid townhouse has a common roof and firewall system. Crews must confirm the firewall's intact and there's no presence of smoke or fire in any of the exposures, back to back, top to bottom. The thermal imaging camera is a great tool to evaluate what is going on above the crews operating and in the exposure buildings. Coordinate ventilation to ensure flow paths are limited. The row house. Row houses are of similar construction and consist of several adjacent, uniform units, originally found in older, pre-automobile urban areas, such as Baltimore. In many cases, off-street parking is accessed by a common alley on the Charlie side. A row house will generally be smaller and less luxurious than a modern townhouse dwelling. The initial on-scene report. Paramedic engine 712's on the scene side Alpha confirming the dispatched address. It's a two-story brick type 3 middle of the row house. I have nothing evident from side Alpha. I'll be out investigating. What are my concerns? These are small townhomes with tiny floor layouts. It's very easy to fill it with too many firefighters and hinder operations and egress. These can quickly become hoarding houses, and crammed with all manner of stuff, this makes hose advancement extremely difficult. Ask yourself, are the firewalls intact? Will smoke and fire run the roof or cockloft? Tactics. Where's the fire now? Where's the fire going? And can I get ahead of the fire? Getting a line on the fire and managing the exposures are critical. The row house has a common roof and a firewall system, so that means crews must confirm that firewall is intact and there is no presence of smoke or fire in any of the exposures. The thermal imaging camera is a great tool to evaluate what is going on above the crews operating and in the exposure buildings. Coordinate ventilation to ensure flow paths are limited. A few final thoughts. In this presentation, we have described different types of single-family residential structures found common in Montgomery County, Maryland. You are now able to quickly identify the type of occupancy as part of your IOSR, and we've heard a few examples of each. Common established tactics for fires occurring in these structures were presented and reinforced per the MCFRS IRP. Areas within each structure most prone to smoke and fire spread have been identified and concerns for management have been discussed. Questions? Forward all questions and comments through your chain of command so they may be addressed properly. We appreciate your attention to this MBT, and we hope the information gives you another tool in your toolbox. Be ready, be safe, and be sure everyone goes home.